You missed a spot over there. Make sure you get in next time you have your lunch.
You hate gardening. Unless there's something stressing you. What is it?
I just wanted to clear my head, that's all.
By gardening? Out with it. What's the matter?
Oh, so now you care. William.
Yes, babe. Hey. William.
Is that not your name?
You know what I mean.
Can I ask you something?
Mm-hmm.
Have I changed?
I don't understand.
Which part? The have, the I, or the changed?
Babe, what's the matter?
Just answer the question.
But haven't we all changed?
Is that why you don't notice me? These days you do some things that make me ask, who are you?
Can you be specific, please?
Remember the initial days. You used to kiss me in the morning before you go to work. You'd call me, you'd text me and even call me at least twice a day. Would cuddle as you tell me all about your day.
Ebo niambia nanuka mdomo na sijui mkono zangu zinikaa ziko na skills.
You're making a joke. I'm serious.
Okay. Sorry.
You promised you'll never change.
Babe, I haven't changed. Well, somehow, but you have changed as well. But babe, I said I'm committed to this. To us.
Maybe that's what marriage was supposed to be. Yeah.
And my name is Fred Makori, and let me tell you something about this couple that we are talking to today. This were there when we were getting married. Yeah, so they've been our mentors, they've been our friends. We actually in the same community of like-minded couples helping each other to walk this journey of marriage. It's not easy. Is it?
Yes. What mtu ajiongelele.
Kila mtu
Not being
ajiongelea
easy on your
kwake.
side. It may not be the same from our side.
All right. So today, as we are looking at this topic, changes in marriage.
Yes.
But probably let's start at how did your various backgrounds affect how you're doing things right now?
Okay.
We start there.
Maybe I can go first.
Yeah.
One, I grew up in the village where I went only to one primary school, one high school. Then I came to the city for my college studies. And I found this later when I was done with school.
Yes.
That's when I met with Joan. And just having that background, I don't know how to change. I don't know changes. You get change every time that we go through a change. It really affects me. You get and so here I am. I met with my girl here who was accustomed to changes at all times, and one of the areas that affected us greatly in decision making, especially, is when we were planning to move houses. You get, I don't want to move. I settle at one place. I don't want to change. I kid you not that I've only worked in one place for 11 years. And so you can imagine how I like stability. I don't want anything to change. If something is working, I don't need to distort it. But maybe Joan can share how she grew up on her side.
Yeah.
I went to 6 primary schools.
Wow.
And at least one high school, one campus. But also we moved after every 5 years.
Wow.
Every 5 years we had to move because of the nature of my dad's job. So when I got married and I got married to Mwaura, who has been to one primary school, one high school, then that affected a lot when it came to decision making. That is why he's saying about when we were moving, our first house, I'm the one who went to look for that house because it was time. In my opinion.
You had been there, you had been around that mountain too long.
Yes, I had been there for 5 years. It was time to move to another house. And I think even now, one of the discussions that is going on in our house, I feel like it is time to move. He's okay.
I'm like, why are we moving?
Yes. And especially because we got to discover how our background affects us in decision making, especially when you go through a change. When we really struggled. My wife was asking me, why don't you want to move? And even when we moved to the house, to that new place, I wasn't feeling comfortable. And so it took a lot of time for us to ask, why are you happy to move? And I'm not happy to move. So this is happening way later into the marriage, and you didn't know what was ailing us. But then when we discovered, this is it, I was able to understand my wife better, and she understood me where I'm coming, because now she knows where my heart is, and I know where her heart is. So our background really does affect how we make decisions greatly,
especially in the wake of any changes.
Exactly.
All right. And talking about changes, do all couples go through changes? I mean, how was it in your case when you got married, dating life, and then you get into marriage? What are some of these changes that you experienced?
Okay. Joan, do you have any change?
I think we had quite a number. Some of the changes that we experienced when we got married. Again, it's going back to background for me. In our very first years of marriage, some of the changes were of how, and he used to tell me a lot. My mother is showing up in this marriage.
So your mother or his mother?
My mother. Yeah. But I think both. Even his mother was also
showing up a lot in
this marriage.
But you see that I don't know if my mom is showing. I can only see her side, and she can't see herself. She can only see my side.
And the way my mother we had been brought up that family catching up was very important to us. But for him, catching up was not very important, like washing dishes.
So you go wash dishes.
Yes.
Go wash
We'll catch up
Yes,
later.
we'll catch up later.
Yes.
You know.
And he thought, I think I married a lazy girl.
Wow.
But that was not the case. For me, catching up was very important. Family time, that evening time, catching up. But for him, he wanted me, that time, they were used to going to washing dishes.
Doing chores in the house.
Yes. And I can tell you some of the conflicts we had about the dishes. And something was starting very small, but
It blows
up
Yeah.
just because of those changes. But again, it was because of background.
And we learned that about that. I think we were like 4 or 5 years in marriage. When we learned, because I realized that, growing up in the village, there is a kitchen that is outside in the main house. You get. So every night you have to move utensils from the kitchen
to the main
house.
Yeah.
So there's no you can move dirty dishes to the main house. You get me?
You have to wash them.
You have to wash them. Yeah. My wife on this other side, they grew up in vicarages, parish houses.
Yeah.
And the church that our dad then was serving, it was very generous to give the pastors very big houses. So instead, the kitchen is still in the house. Yeah. So there's no moving of utensils. So just take your things, take them to the sink and leave them there. Then later in the morning, you can wash them.
Yeah.
So you can imagine now we are here. I'm thinking, my wife, no, people don't leave dirty dishes on the sink. Yeah. And how on this other side, she's thinking, my husband, this is a time to catch up.
Let's know how your day was.
Yes.
Yeah,
So I remember one day when I said, I'm going to teach my wife a good lesson. That
yes.
Actually, I can wash the dishes. So I went and washed the dishes.
But it was not coming up from a point of helping.
No. It was to show. Najulikane.
But that is
yeah. And later now, I think I was foolish then. At one point, I made a decision. I would rather have dirty dishes than a happy wife. Dirty dishes than an angry wife. I think I can. Dishes I can
handle.
Yes, but again, it's coming from our different backgrounds. So talking about changes, backgrounds where we are coming from,
yes.
I think it does affect a lot on how we maneuver through the changes that come, because we are coming from a known place to a known place. So what we know is what guides us in making the decisions.
Yeah.
So those are some of the things that we learn, but we face it a bit rough, right?
Yeah. Let me also add one more.
Go ahead. Yes.
That had really cost us a lot of conflict. It was about devotion. Devotion. We used to. Where I grew up, we had like 1 hour devotion. And I wanted the same, like exactly what happened in our house.
To happen in your married home here now.
That is what I wanted, exactly that, everything. And so we really fought about that devotion. But on this other side, when we sat down and decided, I think it is time that we have our own culture. Yeah, that really helped us.
Yes, I think at one moment my wife thought that she married a fake believer or a pastor. A fake pastor. Because I leave maybe work at 8 p.m. I'm so tired. Yes. Just go home.
And you wanted a devotion of like 10 minutes.
Yes, it's just praying, how was your day, catching up quickly. Yeah. And here my wife, was used to 1 hour. Family devotion. Yes, actually, the hymn books that we are given during our wedding day, and all that. But in our place, we never grew up doing devotions. Yeah. It's time to eat, go and sleep. We'll see you tomorrow morning. Yeah. So, but on this other side, you see, they have 1 hour devotion. Wow. Actually, I realized that they used even to give an offering.
I see.
In their home.
Family devotion.
Yes.
If the church has a project. Then even the children will contribute towards that church project.
Yes.
So you can imagine how this thing, was so beneficial to her spiritually. And so she thought that marrying a pastor, even she will have like 2 hours in her home. Wow. On this other side, I'm, working as a pastor. I'm closing the office at 8. That's when I'm meeting people and going home. I'm so tired. I can't even stand 10 minutes to do a family devotion. And so for a while, she thought that actually I'm a fake pastor. She was lured into all this. But also another aspect was, you see, where my wife grew up, they were in big houses, there's power and all that. So they spend a longer time at night chatting and catching up with her siblings and with her parents. But on this other side, we need to save the kerosene, so it's eating in haste, finish what you're doing, go to sleep. So by 8 p.m., all of us are, you're asleep. And so I bring again that thing into marriage. So for me, by 9:30, I'm going down. And that's when my wife now is picking up. She's very active. So you can imagine now how you need to, bringing the two backgrounds together, and how that was very, very hard for us to change and to adapt to something new, because she has to understand that this is my background. We need to, I may not spend from 9:30. I don't have much power or energy. You get, and I also have to understand that this is a time that my wife picks up. You get, and at that moment, that's when she wants to engage. So how do you adjust and work together? You get to benefit each other. That was quite sound.
All right. And talking about changes now, for instance, when you're dating, there are many instances when you're dating, you look at your spouse, your future wife or your future husband, and you see all perfection. And then when you get married, then you start seeing, Mutuku kumbe hata wanaombanga tu 10 minutes. Yes, ama hata maombi tutasema amen kama asubuhi tukiamka ni by the way tulisema amen. And you begin to see a lot of these changes coming in. What are some of the reasons that probably, out of the experience that you guys have had, that causes couples to show one thing when dating, and then when you get married, a lot of these other things now begin to crop up?
Okay.
I think in the first years of marriage, mostly is not change. I tend to think is marriage reveals who you are.
The person that you are.
Yeah, because on the other side, maybe it was a campaign season.
You're campaigning for election.
The other side is the real manifesto.
Yes.
In 6 months.
Stadiums are up. But it's marriage reveals exactly who you are. Previously, maybe when you were dating, you didn't have an opportunity to pray together for long. You're not staying in the same house. But this time you're with this person most of your time. So they get to know when you're praying, when you're not, how you get angry, how your tempers are. But on the other side, maybe you get angry where you live, and then when you're coming to meet him or her,
you cool down.
You cool down. Yeah.
Or if she angers you, you go express your anger in your house.
Yes, somewhere else. But this time, you're there.
Yes.
I also think that the one thing that couples, maybe people who are dating, have, that they may not know is fear. Everyone is fearing losing this person.
Yes.
Maybe this is your second, third, fourth relationship. So what do? You put your best foot forward. And when we were growing up, we used to have a saying that if you want the chicken to come here, you don't run after it. So what do? You just put some grains and it will come up to where you are. And the question was, when you get hold of it, do you still give it grains?
No.
You don't give it. The mission accomplished. So imagine you have done that to this girl, and then she has come here, and then she has found, actually, you are lying to me. You are lowering me. You get, because what made me come here, you aren't giving me. So those are some of the things. But fear, I think fear is big. Fear of rejection that makes people not reveal who they really are. There are also some selfish motives. You're very selfish because you want this person. There are some certain aspects of this person that you need. You get, she's beautiful, she does it nicely. So you are attracted to some segments of that person. You're not really attracted to the whole totality. But now marriage gives you the whole
package.
So you can imagine now you're seeing, could be this person, doesn't even know how to cook. You get this, like I used to love my wife's chapos. Should I say that? Yes. I used to love her chapos when we were dating, So when we would visit her with my cousins, and she makes for us nice, beautiful chapos. Only when we got married, we realized actually she didn't know. She didn't know how to cook. the chapos. So I'm here asking, please give me the, make the
Those
chapos.
chapatis,
Those
yes,
chapatis
yeah,
were no, I was buying them. Why did you tell me? You never asked me.
Yeah.
But then,
They were cheap where I was living.
it was cheaper to buy than to make.
to even go.
But anyway, I didn't know how to make them.
So she learned how to. She makes the best chapos now, but she learned that when you were married.
Yes.
You get so you really don't want. You really don't, the whole person you don't want.
Yeah.
You don't know, so you just want that she cooks nicely.
Like, yes.
She cooks nicely. She dresses nicely. She does this nicely. But then you realize that might come at a cost.
Yeah.
So I think that's why people sometimes feel so deflated when you get married and you realize actually, I mean, how come I didn't know this other side? And sometimes it's not the best because you have only seen the best side, the ones you have not seen, and the worst side you cannot live with.
Yeah.
Sorry,
I've just remembered another example that my husband likes very. He liked that time when we were dating. I used to live in a bedsitter, and whenever he would visit me together with my cousin, our bed was spread nicely.
Neat.
Neat. You know, we are in a bedsitter, and bedsitter
That's the
it's
sitting
room, it's everything. The kitchen. So your bed has to be spread nicely. Then we got married, and one of the things that I hate doing is spreading the bed.
I didn't know that.
I didn't know that.
So you discover that in marriage.
Yes.
So you just make your bed nice.
Yes,
What's going on?
So that bed was it was a couch. That time it was couch, it was everything. So those are some of the things
so
that
I'm seeing, this girl is very, she's not clumsy as I am.
Yeah, she's very organized.
This is what I want. Later to know that there were other motivations. You get that you never experienced.
Yes.
You didn't know that this is what was motivating.
Exactly.
So that's quite a shock.
Yeah, and I know that yes, in dating, yes, of course, we want to show the best foot forward, but also some of these reasons that make people, you mentioned fear, that make people not to want to expose fully to their spouse, that tell them, hey, if you're going to marry me, this is the whole person.
Okay.
What are some of these things that make people to close in?
Could you be asking about the aspect of the full disclosure?
Why
people don't want to disclose?
Yes.
One, because you don't know if this is, dating is trying. You're also trying. It's mujaribu. So you don't know if this person is really going to be with you. So you give them piecemeals. The one that will make this person come back tomorrow.
Yeah.
You get
amekuja leo. Let me
Yeah.
give you another dose.
Slowly.
Yes, again, because you don't know if it doesn't work, that person will go with part of you.
Yes.
You get part of your history, and you don't know how they are going to hold that information. So again, go back to the aspect of fear. You really don't know. Is it really going to? Is this thing going to turn out to a marriage? And then you realize as you move forward, actually it's working without me having revealed all the secrets. So instead of
revealing,
let me just keep it. You get, because anyway it's working. I don't want to distort our relationship. Then over time you get married. You get now you can't even say or. Because marriage in nature, there are many things that you're not able to hide. Then when you pour all the beans, you give all the info, the person thinks, is this you? Why did you lie to me? You get, the person that was dating is not the same person that I'm married. Yes. So, and then the other, for example, if I share everything with my wife at that moment, then she started fearing, hey, if this was your past, can it come back? Especially if it was about a lot of sexual relationship and all that, will it ever come back? So they're all manner of things. So sometimes when someone is unable to really reveal himself or to disclose himself or herself fully, actually the thing is fear. The thing is fear.
It's majorly fear.
Yeah.
And then so now, how do you ensure that in dating, at least, or before you even come to that one, how important is disclosing while dating before you get married?
Okay. Joan, why was it
important to know? Or is it important at all? It's okay.
I think it's important to disclose some of those things.
Not everything.
Definitely not the first date.
At the first date.
Yeah.
Not the first date, with time. With time. But it's important by the time you're saying I do, you're committing to this person. He knows everything. If I may say, not most of the things.
Yeah.
Everything, unless you forgot to say it. But it is important for you to disclose everything. So that when you're starting your home, you're on the same page.
I think it's really nurturing the friendship.
Yes.
The dating period is totally nurturing the friendship. There are certain things that I can tell my friend, you know. Why can't I tell them with someone whom I want to spend the rest of my life? So when you nurture those friendship, that friendship, those things will come out of that. But sometimes people want to hit the ground running. You know, I met this person and, you know, we want to get married by the end of the year.
Yeah.
So you only focus maybe on the wedding day. You forget that there are other...
There's a marriage.
There's a marriage after that. And that marriage will benefit on the friendship that you have had now. You get, because when at the level of friendship, if I share something with my friend, however bad it could be or sound, I don't think that person is going to see me different. Because already you have nurtured that aspect of friendship. And friendship is knowing where someone's heart is. You get, I know that this girl, as we nurtured our friendship, that I know where her heart is. You know, she knows where my heart is. And so out of that, then you're able to reveal or to disclose maybe major things or even small things. Let them come from conversations, because again, the nature of friendship is not communication. People say that in dating you need to communicate. I don't think so. It's conversations.
It's conversations.
You get, that's what built friendship. Friendship is not built on communication. It's built on conversations. You know, built on random things. Then out of those random things that you see, whether in nature or in city or whatever, then out of that, that's when you get to disclose. You know, it will be hard for someone to say, I want to disclose to you something tomorrow, please come. Let's meet at 10. You get, even the other person will be like, oh, what is it that you want? But when it comes to conversations, I think one can be able to stand and to hold the information there, and perhaps do the necessary or what needs to be done with that info.
Absolutely.
Right?
I tend to think that when you disclose it, it also frees you. Because, for instance, if you have a debt on this other side, you're dating, you're dealing with a huge debt, but you do not want to disclose that, and then you start a marriage with a debt. Now on this side, you're calling it yours alone. You know, when you disclose it, it's like ours. You know, depending on how it will be taken. But you get into this marriage, and every time you put finances on the table, you want to hide some, because you have a sin that you are hiding every time. Every time you're not free, you're not even happy. Whenever your spouse makes a decision on finances, you're thinking, hey, ungenipatia ningelipa ile deni. You're not even happy.
So that now ends up, you never get to allow this person to get to know even how much you earn, to get hold of your ATM cards or even your financial statements.
Your phone.
How it builds up. Now you start hiding now, because now people are doing mobile banking. Now you start hiding your phone. You start doing patterns and passwords. So that's how actually it comes. It starts from a very slowly and then it becomes something big.
And you see, even in marriage, if it's you start even hiding the password. Maybe it started early. It has not started in that marriage.
It started at some point.
Yes.
Now, and you see, these are some of the red flags that people would pick as you're dating. And you would, know that, this is about my wife, and this is about the husband I would get married to, but this I can live with, this I can't live with. So now, of course, you can choose to ignore and continue with it. Like you said, your goal is, I want to get married at the end of the year, and you go ahead and get married. But again, you could also choose to confront and say that this thing, I don't like it. Is it something that can change? You know, while you're on this other side. Is it things that is advisable to do while dating? Or is it something that you can say, fine, let's wait until we get married, then we'll deal with it?
Again, be firm. there are things that you say that these are red flag. I cannot live with this, but I'm willing to give you a chance to work on it, and I'm willing to help you actually work on it. I think that's where gentleness comes. But let this person know that this is my no. I'll not be able to accept this because this is what it does to me. You get, but sometimes people will see the red flags, but they want to call them green. It's green flag. Actually, he's a he's a good person.
Right.
He's not saved, but he helps orphans and all.
Yeah.
So it's a red flag, yes, but you want to see, you want to give it a red flag is a red flag. Talk about that in a gentle but in a firm way.
Yeah, I agree with that. I agree about you cannot call a red flag green. And I think most of the time when we see a red flag, because you're so much in love, at that time, you feel like if I address this, this person will go. And this relationship might end. Again, from a point of fear, you're fearing to address that red flag, or you tell yourself, this one, we can work on it, but not on this other side. We'll work on it on the other side, of which it will reveal of who that person is more when you marry.
Right.
Yes.
And just to pick on that, the red flag issue, what are some probably or red flags that people should not ignore?
All right.
Yeah.
So, Joan, any red flag?
One of the red flags, I think, let me go back again on the finances, is when someone is not willing to reveal how much they earn. If I am going to spend the rest of my life with this person, then I should be willing to let you know how much I am earning. I should come out clean. So that is one of the red flags. I don't know whether you have one.
Yes, and even to add on that, I mean, when the Bible says that you cannot serve where your heart is, that's also where your treasure is. You get, if I just love money, I don't want anyone else to interfere. My wife is not.
She's become second.
She's become second, definitely. You get, and all that. So that's one of the things that we need to check on. The other red flag would be, especially maybe there is the boundaries that, this couple has, especially with the opposite sex. You get, we need to, because if someone spends a lot of time with either ladies or jamas out there, and then you get married to them, and then you tell them that this is an exclusive relationship, that's a big one. Or if they think that their immorality, you get, it's not something to worry about. You get, it's just for one night stand. I mean, yes, we have sex, but there's nothing.
There's nothing.
So
or when we get married, it will change now that
it will change. Yes. If there are such things, even related to that, maybe there's struggle in terms of maybe pornography, or just one is unable to keep the boundaries, sexual boundaries. That's a big one. That's a big one, and one needs to work on that.
Are there instances, because the goal of marriage is really to work towards becoming one, and that is a lifelong journey. I mean, you don't get married and tomorrow you're one. It's a continuous process with God helping us. The question is, are there instances where now you've gotten married and then you've begun to notice the true character of this person and you're feeling, this one, I don't think I want to stay in this relationship. Then what do you do in such a scenario?
What would you have done, Joan?
If you found that this devotion thing could be serious.
I think for me, when I got married, and I think even for Mwaura, for me, I did not have a plan B. Like getting married and knowing that asipofanya hivi, then I'll do this. I'll go. I did not have a plan B, and I knew that what I am getting into,
It's for keeps.
yeah, it's for kids.
Fungu, not-
Nimejifungia huko ndani. I didn't have a plan B. So
That is a Presbyterian girl.
having that in mind, that I did not have a plan B, I knew that anything in that marriage that I did not like, we had to solve it together. We had to solve it, and we had to look for ways of solving and addressing some of the issues that we had. So for me, I did not have a plan B. And one of the ways that were for solving some of the issues we had accountability partners. So we knew we'll go to them, look for help anywhere else, but going separate ways was not an option for me. Yes.
Yeah.
I think having no option out first, it helps build trust. Even because one of the things that happens when you're unable to address the issues and you're thinking of quitting is because maybe the trust levels in the relationship have not been enhanced. I knew already that even if I were to do something bad, that my wife will have my back. That does not mean that now I go and mess up.
Now you have the license.
No, it's not the license to go and do whatever I need to do because my wife will never leave. But it pushes me to a place of saying, if this girl can never leave me, how bad or how worse can I be as a human being, leave alone a husband, to break that trust, to push her to that level? I think I'm no longer a human being at that level. So but that enhanced the trust. And that helped me, or helps my wife to know that there is nothing in our marriage that we cannot sort out. We can be able to sort out. But granted, there are relationships that may not be the philosophy that they have about their relationship. I love saying that first, marriage is very private, but it thrives within a community. You get, there are people around you that can help. You get, and they can also give you another perspective. You know, when you go and visit someone and you say, we have this problem, as small even as a TV, you go, this person is so addicted to the TV. You know, it can, because it's a big one. It's a big one. You know, like, just digress a bit. You know how, for me, I grew up knowing I must have a TV. I must have a TV in my house. And only later to realize that I had gone somewhere when I was a small boy, and we were peeping into a sitting room where there was a TV, and the owner of the house had some commotion outside and came and, you know, with his flashlight, you know, was able to monitor us, and we were peeping through a hole, and we were beaten. And out of that, I said, my house will never lack a TV. So I would rather it be there. You get, I would rather be it there, and I'm not watching it, but it's there. It is there. As small as that, you know, when you share it with someone else, then you gain a new perspective. But the commitment that a couple makes, first, it should be a commitment to God. Make a commitment to God. That God, I'm here for this marriage to work. Then, and here I'm talking about accountability structure. We need first to make a commitment towards God. Then make a commitment towards each other. We need first to be accountable to God, then accountable to each other as a spouse, then also accountable even to the community around us. I think that's the nature of marriage. But God never created a couple to just walk alone in this life, because, you know, I'm not a woman. I may not know what my wife could be going through. She's not a man either, that she gets to understand me completely. But when we are somewhere and you're discussing, you know, with another couple or with a group of couples, then some of these things are revealed, and I get to understand my wife better, and she also gets to understand me better. So in case there's maybe a couple that's going through such a thing, I think it's always noble to talk or to walk with another couple. You get, and that's where they can open their hearts, and I believe that they can get some assistance. You get, but that again has to be founded on the premise of trust. You know, and I'm not quitting. You know, I'm here for keeps. I'm here to stay, and I'm here for this marriage to work. That alone, you know, helps the marriage to thrive, even even when it's in chaos, even when things on the ground seem like, I can't withstand this. I can't live in this marriage any longer. But when that trust is there, even if maybe the couple will go separate ways, they know that, we are separating for us to work out our issues.
All right. So for me then, if there's a space in a couple's life where they've gotten to a point where these issues are too much, there's that place where, based on the commitment that they made at the beginning, there's that space where they can now say, okay, fine, we are not in agreement, but we need to work this out.
Yes.
And since we can't seem to agree, can we take time apart and just relook at all these things, and then come back together? So there's that.
Yes, I believe so. Yeah. Especially when there are things like anger issue, or when there is threat towards life. I think it's always noble for a couple to, let's go separate, maybe seek some help. We go through therapy, or we involve maybe a couple or two couples to walk with us through that journey of healing. Because again, couples heal differently. You get, so sometimes it's when maybe we are not meeting every day, that I'll be able to look into my life well. So I believe that there's that option, but it's not to separate so that you may go your different ways. I think to separate for reconciliation, because maybe whatever you could be going through is so heated that if you're together, there is anger, they feel let down, there's broken trust, and all that, and we can't be together. We can't be together. Anytime that I see even a shadow of you in the house, it breaks my heart. It takes me somewhere that I don't want to be. But again, that has to be mutually agreed, and also with other people around. Evaluate the situation. You say, let's do this, and it must have timelines. You get, so because I think the worst is go, and when I feel good,
you come back.
I'll come back.
I think it's always good to read. I think you say, what,
you might enjoy the freedom.
Timelines, I think, are critical. And for me, I normally say that anything beyond a month, you are starting to go through a separate direction. You get, but you can say that, I'm willing to, to go and be hosted by Akina Makori as we seek things. And while out there, maybe we can meet after a week. We evaluate where we are at. So even this separation is not so that you may enjoy the freedom of singlehood. It's for you to really critically look into your marriage. See the things that you need to do, see the things that you need to adjust, address the areas of concern, and then come back. You get, so I think that can be helpful. Yes, and I wanted to say something there, but let me not say it.
You can go ahead.
Just go ahead.
That one will be controversial.
Just say it, you will decide.
No, I wanted to say that, it's especially if a couple, they have children, I think it's always good if the man is the one who is easy, to take and be hosted by someone else, instead of saying that where your wife run away with your children and go to your house, go to your parents' house. I think if that is the mindset that we are we are separating for a moment to address our issues. I think the husband is the one who is easiest to go. To move.
Yes,
because you just need your back.
Not
the wife.
All right. So now, I think that the couples who are probably watching us, and they're in the space where whether they ignored to discuss about these things, whether all these secrets are coming out to haunt later, but it is with them. They're married, and now things are being discovered in the marriage, and they're right now going through some sort of conflict, or they are in the space where they don't have trust and they're losing hope. What could you speak to that marriage? We start with Joan.
Again, going back to the commitment you made to each other, and remember how that commitment, you made a commitment to yourself and even to God. So I would say it's not easy for one to be in that space, and there's no way, I will not undermine anyone's problem and say that you can stay with it. Vumilia, the thing of vumilia, kangumu. Again, it's going back and thinking, are we willing to invite other people to come into our space and help us go through this. And if a couple is willing to invite some people, I think it's one step of healing or solving that problem. Because if you're not willing at all to invite anyone, then that means it will be a bit difficult for you to settle that. Yeah. But one thing is to invite an accountability partner, a therapist, a counselor. It is one step knowing that you are on the right direction, especially if you're both willing to do that. I don't know how it will be if it's only one person.
Yes. And also to add onto what my wife has said, is to acknowledge that we have a problem. We have a problem and we need help if we can't address it alone. And acknowledging a problem is being able to say, this is my contribution toward this problem. And owning it and taking responsibility on your own to work on it. I found that people don't change unless they really want to. If you really want to change, I think that's one of the areas of where even that trust can be enhanced. I have done this 1, 2, 3 things, and that has hurt you. That has aggravated the matter. I have not lived out to my commitment. Either I have ignored or I didn't know. Either I contributed actively or I was oblivious of what my actions would lead to. Then the other person, this is my contribution towards this issue. Now from there, what do we need to do? Maybe we need to seek therapy. We need to seek help from couples around us. Maybe you need to seek help from church, but it must come from that place. Do we really want this thing to work? Even when I'm meeting couples, maybe to encourage them through their marriage journey, the first question I ask, do you want this thing to work? Because if if you're not willing this to work, I'll be wasting your time, you'll be wasting my time as well. So do you have that psyche? Do you have that hope?
Yeah.
And then from there, you'll be on a journey of healing.
Right.
You get and living again towards your commitment that I have done this and I don't want to repeat it again. You get, because there are some people who will say sorry so that we can move on. Apologize. But the best healing is where there are actions. This is what I'm going to do as we walk through this journey of healing, and I'm committed to change in this way.
Yes.
And I think I've seen marriages greatly thriving and and even encouraging others, and yet they were in a dark pit. But when there is that willingness to change and living towards their
Thank you so much. I think time has really gone and we need to finish. You guys are enjoying yourself a bit too much. Sasa, thanks a lot for making time and sharing with us from your life examples. We really learned a lot. Yeah, so thank you for joining us in this episode of #ForBetterForUs. Thank you for making time and just subscribing to the channel and coming here every Sunday. And in case you're there and you're in this space that we've spoken about, where you are hopeless and you're feeling you're in pain and you're wondering what's happening in your relationship, there's a lot of help. Reach out. The contacts are running on the screen as we speak. Reach out to us. We will connect you to the right help. We would help you through people who would help you through, walk with you, pray with you, counsel with you, and help you if, like Pastor Mwaura said, you're committed to ensuring that your marriage is working. Please reach out. We're here so that your marriage can thrive. Thank you again for making time to come. And in case you're joining us for the very first time, remember to subscribe and share and let your friends also know that there's something happening in this space. This is #ForBetterForUs. My name is Makori. See you again next week as we tackle yet another topic. God bless you.
For better or for us, no matter what is thrown at us, together we will be strong.